The February auto loans have dropped and there's some pleasant surprises. Let's talk about it. If you guys don't know, my name's Tommy. I've been in the car business most of my adult life, sales, finance, now I negotiate car deals. Enough about me, let's talk about interest rates. If you guys haven't seen this series before, we're gonna go into public rates and then we're gonna go to manufacturer incentive rates, which is the more exciting one in my opinion, but let's talk about public rates. Second place goes to Bank of America. They're doing great things and a lot of dealerships support them. If you're doing your dealership financing, 6.39 for new and 6.79 for used. It's a pretty steady rate. I definitely recommend them if you're looking for a big national bank. But number one, still holding the crown for like 5 months in a row is PenFed. They just absolutely kill it. You can still get a rate in the 5s, but realistically, most people will be in the low 6s for a rate. Now, I'm not keeping like USAA or Navy Fed because those are private credit unions, which I've talked about before. These are only public. Anybody can get PenFed. I do want to shout out their used car rates aren't bad either. If we're looking at 60 months or 72, we're definitely at 6.89, 6.99. Not as crazy as like, for example, Bank of America, but for new car, I definitely recommend PenFed. For used car, I'd recommend Bank of America. Now let's get into the fun part, the manufacturer incentive rates. Now I don't care about Buick because I don't recommend buying a Buick. When we're talking about BMW, let's talk about how bad BMW rates have been. I have not been impressed. They are offering 2.99 and 3.99 on their electric fleet. They're offering no incentivized rates currently on their gas, which is just bonkers to me. They're definitely not trying to appeal to anybody. They're still having short inventory, and because of that, they're not offering great rates. Now, Cadillac's actually not doing some bad things this month. I don't normally shout them out, but I'm gonna shout them out this month. 3.99 up to 48 months with a lot of their models, but the thing I like is that you can get that $1,500 cash incentive, and if you're a member at Costco, all you have to do is say you're a member and show that card, you can get another $1,000 off. You don't have to go through their buying program, which I don't love. All you have to do is be a Costco member and save another $1,000. Cadillac, good job. Ford also stepping back some of the incentives here. They have the 0% on the Ford Edge, which is okay. I don't really like the Ford Edge. The F-150 does have 3.9. Now, last month, they kind of threw like a Hail Mary and offered some really crazy incentivized rates for the end of the month. They've pulled those back. They might do something again this month. So if you are looking to buy a Ford, buying at the end half of the month, especially if you're looking at an F-150, might not be a bad idea. Next, we have to talk about Honda. And really, look how many incentives they have for Honda and Acura. Yes, they combine the two, but it really is 2 lines for Acura and the rest for Honda. Honda is definitely starting to increase inventory around the country, and as they do, they need to get these cars off the lot. So Acura, you can get 2.49 or 3.9 on select models, all the way up to 4.9 if you want to go longer term. For the Ridgeline, it's an okay truck. I don't really like it. But the Accord, the Civic CR-V, HR-V, and most of their models do have 2.9 to 4.9. So incentivized rates all the way around. You can get some cash, loyalty cash down below, just depending on the model you're buying, but definitely I like the CR-V being at 2.9. Hyundai's still offering some decent deals, but they've definitely cut back over the last few months. February for new cars is a slower month. So because of that, a lot of these incentives do get dropped a little bit. So if we look at this, we're gonna see 0% on the Tucson, and then there's some cash offers if you are paying cash. Realistically, that 0% is worth a lot. So if you're buying a Tucson, I definitely would recommend taking the 0% over a rebate. The Jeep needs to step up the game if they want to get more people to buy their vehicles, and I think one of the ways they could do that with 0%, they haven't been following my TikTok, they haven't been following my advice because they didn't do that. But I will say they are offering absolutely nothing exciting. They offer 15% off some vehicles that nobody's buying. They're not offering anything crazy. Look at the 2023s, they're offering 5.9%. Jeep is just a mess right now. I don't know, I wouldn't recommend. So Mazda's actually doing things a little bit confusing. I noticed this last month in select areas, but they're offering 0.9%, but I've seen 0% in a lot of areas as well. So you want to go into the manufacturer incentive page on this one to see what you qualify for. Some people are getting 0%, some people are getting 0.9%, just depends on where you're buying the car. Nissan is doing some incentivized financing, but it's actually dropped down again. February is not a great new car buying month. Some of these things have shocked me because I just expected some rates to be a little bit better, but that's okay. We are still good to buy vehicles. 0% on the Aria, nobody's buying those. 0% on the Titan, nobody's buying those. 1.9% on the Rogue, that's not bad, but they definitely need to start clearing inventory as the 2024 Rogues, which is crazy, we're talking about that, are going to be dropping in spring. 2.9% on the Altima Pathfinder might be seeming nice, but they have been offering 0% in months past, so I'm not impressed, and Nissan's also a pass for me. Now for Subaru, they've kind of been doing the same thing for months, and that's what they'll continue to do. 0% on the Solterra, nobody's buying them. 1.9% on the Outback, but they do change that sometimes in the middle of the month. So I do recommend waiting to the end half of the month to buy any Outbacks because they might drop that down. We just have to wait and see. 3.9 and 4.9 on any other models. And the Ascent, I'm just not a big fan of the car. Toyota's starting to also offer some nicer rates, which is great because we're starting to see some movement on some of these brands that haven't been moving for a while. 3.99 on some select models and up to 2.99 if you're willing to do the 4x2 if you live down south. Not bad. Volkswagen, I'll touch on them. They're offering 1.9 4.9 on a few different vehicles. Again, I'm just not in love with Volkswagen. They make one or two good cars and everything else just feels kind of cheap. And that's it, guys. That is going to be February's interest rates. Now, the pleasant surprises are going to be that Honda and Toyota kind of stepped up their game a little bit, and Mazda kept things the same. Realistically, there are some people that are dropping the balls. Don't freak out. It's not the end of the world. February is not the best new car selling month, and manufacturers know that. So they're going to dial back a little bit, hope to make a little bit more profit this month. If you're still looking to buy a car, guys. Don't worry about it. The rate's not going to dramatically change. Next month, you might get a 0.5% or percent off difference. But the end half of the month, I do expect some things to change and some rates to possibly drop. For example, we talked about a few of those models in the video. If you guys like this kind of content, would you like, follow, subscribe? Thank you guys so much. Comment section below what you guys want to see next. Have a great day.